Ê, good afternoon class. Rồi, như các chị thấy trong phần hợp thoại, nội dung đầu tiên của buổi học hôm nay là phần Medical Terminology. Ở tuần trước mình đã hoàn thành xong cái chương hệ hô hấp trong quyển sách màu xanh rồi. Thì hôm nay mình sẽ làm phần thuật ngữ về đại này ha. Thì trong quyển sách màu hồng nha, quyển sách màu hồng phần thuật ngữ, chương hệ hô hấp sẽ là bài số 11. Unit 11 là The Respiratory System. Thì cũng giống như những cái bài trước, những cái phần thuật ngữ mà sẽ có 2 phần chính. Phần part A, Medical Terminology, nó sẽ giới thiệu những cái gốc từ hoặc là những cái tiền tố hậu tố có liên quan đến cái chương hô hấp. Thường là nằm ở phần 1 La Mã nè. Rồi từ 2 La Mã, 3 La Mã, 4 La Mã là những cái bài tập để mà mình vận dụng để mình tạo thành cái thuật ngữ. Có thể là true false, có thể là MCQs và bài tập tạo từ. Rồi, qua part B là practice in medical context. Thì trong part B này nó vừa vận dụng và thực hành lại những cái thuật ngữ đó và vừa ôn lại những cái từ vựng hoặc là những cái kiến thức mà mình đã học trong quyển sách màu xanh và những cái nội dung, những từ vựng nội dung đã học ở trong chương hô hấp ở quyển sách xanh ha. Thì nó cũng gồm những cái dạng bài như MCQ, từ đồng nghĩa, synonyms, hoặc là errors, tìm lỗi sai, xác định lỗi sai, và word form, tiền dạng đúng của từ, được chưa? Đó. Rồi chúng ta sẽ làm phần này ha. Cô sẽ gửi link cho lớp, mình làm trực tiếp trên đường link nha. Rồi qua part B. Okay, now let's move to the next chapter. The new lesson, chapter 11, the urinary system. To begin with, I'd like you to watch a video clip for the overview of the urinary system. Watch it carefully and try to find out the structures and the functions of the system. What are the structures, the main organs of the urinary system? What is functions? Watch the clip and find out the answers.
The urinary, or excretory system, is another system by which the body rids itself of unwanted toxins or waste. Basically, the urinary system's main purpose is to maintain the body's homeostasis. In other words, its main function is to maintain the body's acid-base balance. It's important to know the human organism was meant to stay healthy, and systems such as the urinary, digestive, skin, and other vital organ systems were created for that purpose. They are designed to keep the body healthy and able to withstand diseases. But if the load of toxins and/or waste is greater than what these systems can handle, guess what happens? You can learn more about this by watching CTE Skills Introduction to the Cell and see how disease is created. In this introductory video on the urinary system, however, we'll just be taking a look at the purpose of the urinary system, the structures that make it up, the functions of each, and how they work together to maintain balance in the body. The urinary system, much like the integumentary system, doesn't have many parts, but they are truly essential to the survival of the human organism. Let's take a look at the basic anatomical structures of the urinary system. They are 2 kidneys, 2 ureters, 1 bladder, 1 urethra, and the urethra meatus. Now the 2 kidneys are bean-shaped in appearance. They are located on either side of the vertebral column behind the upper part of the abdominal cavity. The kidneys are protected by the ribs and a heavy cushion of fat called the adipose capsule. They are literally suspended in the body, meaning unattached to any other major organ. They pretty much stay up by themselves. And for this reason, kidney punching in boxing is illegal. Each kidney is divided into 2 main sections, the cortex and the medulla. The cortex is the outer section of the kidney. It contains the majority of nephrons. Nephrons are microscopic filtering units. These filtering units are composed of the following structures: a glomerulus, a Bowman's capsule, a proximal convoluted tubule, and a distal convoluted tubule, and a collecting duct. Together, these structures purify the blood by removing excess water, salt, sugar, metabolic products, and other substances the body needs to purge in order to maintain the pH acid-base balance and thus the homeostasis of the body. Now the medulla is the inner section of the kidney. It contains most of the collecting tubules, which carry the urine from the nephrons through the kidney to the ureters. The ureters are 2 muscular tubes, approximately 10 to 12 inches long and extending from the renal pelvis of each kidney to the bladder. Now the bladder is a hollow sac, much like the stomach, lined by a series of folds called ruga. The purpose of these folds is to allow the bladder to expand as urine is collected. The bladder typically holds up to 1 cup of urine and sometimes more until the urge to void or urinate is turned on. Leading from the bladder is the urethra tube. Its job is to carry the urine from the bladder to the outside of the body. The last structure in the urinary pathway of purging toxins from the body is the external opening to the urethra. This is called the urethra meatus. Now here's a very important note to make about the urethra and the sexes. In females, the urethra is only about 1.5 inches long, and it is separate from the reproductive system. While in the males, the urethra is approximately 8 inches long, and before the urine exits, it goes through the prostate gland. The urethra in the male is used by 2 body systems, the urinary and the reproductive. Only urine passes through the urethra in the urinary system, but in the reproductive system, only semen passes through. Urine and semen will never pass at the same time through the male's urethra. So what exactly is urine? Urine is the waste product that the urinary system is responsible for eliminating from the body. It's 95% water, and the other 5% is made up of urea, uric acid, creatine, mineral salts, various pigments, and sugar. Excess sugar found in the urine can be indicative of diabetes. In a day's work, the kidney can filter up to 150 quarts of liquid, resulting in about 1.5 to 2 quarts of urine. That's if you're drinking the proper amount of water. Last but not least, each of the kidneys have the adrenal glands attached to the upper portion. These glands have very important functions that will be explained in the endocrine system. Now before we finish, let's go over it one more time. The basic purpose for this system is to cleanse the blood. It filters out toxins such as excess sugars and salts, as well as other substances. The main structures or anatomical parts are 2 kidneys, 2 ureters, 1 bladder, 1 urethra, and the urethra meatus. Each kidney is divided into the cortex and medulla. Inside the cortex of both kidneys are thousands of microscopic filtering units called nephrons. And remember, it's important to drink lots of water in order for the kidneys and the urinary system to continue to function properly. Thanks for watching. For more videos on the urinary system, visit cteskills.com.
Okay, now write out some notes. The main organs of the urinary system and what are the functions? Tell me some ideas from the video clip that you see. Rồi sau khi xem clip, các anh chị cho cô một vài những cái thông tin ha. Nói chung là về hai cái ý chính thôi. Giải phẫu và sinh lý, các cơ quan chính, những cái chức năng của tiết niệu. Các anh chị viết câu trả lời trực tiếp vào trong hộp thoại nha. Mỗi người một ý đi anh chị. 2 kidneys, 2 ureters, the bladder, urethra, and urethra meatus. Okay. Whatever mentioned is maintain homeostasis. What else? What are the functions of the system? All right, remove waste products from the body in the form of urine. Okay, good. Yeah. That are some of the main ideas you can see from the clip. Now, open the book, the green book, please, and see chapter 11. Session 1. Rồi, từ trang 189. Hôm nay chúng ta học session 1 ha. The kidneys. 2 kidneys. The main organs of this system. In this section, it talks about the anatomy of the kidneys and the functions of the kidneys. Read the whole passage and try to summarize the main ideas from the passage, and then do the task below. Task 1. Task 2. Task 3. Task 4. Task 5 and task 6. Task 7. Ok, rồi tổng cộng về bài đọc của Thuận ta sẽ có 7 cái task ha, từ task 1 tới task 7. Về bài đọc thì chúng ta sẽ đọc bài đọc dưới những cái từ vựng chính và tóm tắt những ý chính nói trong đoạn. Và dùng những cái thông tin đó để làm các bài tập ở dưới. Rồi chúng ta sẽ làm bài, đọc bài và làm bài vào đường link cô gửi. Rồi các anh chị click vào link làm bài. Thì trong link này ngoài các task ra, nó có cái cột đầu tiên là main ideas. Cột này yêu cầu chúng ta là đọc và tóm tắt lại một số những cái ý chính. Không cần viết đầy đủ cả câu ha, dài dòng. Có thể tóm tắt bằng những từ, những cái cụm từ ngắn gọn, xúc tích và đầy đủ ý. Đó, cột đầu tiên main ideas. Okay, you have about half an hour or 30 minutes to finish the task. Okay, here are some key vocabularies in session 1 about the kidneys. the vocabulary, the meaning or explanation and example using the words. Từ vựng giải thích từ và ví dụ ha. Một số những từ khóa chính ở trong đoạn 1, section 1. Excretion, noun. Excrete là từ này ở những cái bài trước mình đã học rồi, mean to remove or eliminate. Remove the waste substances from the body. The excretion of urea from the blood are one of the main functions of the kidneys. Metabolic breakdown products. Urea, ammonia, creatinine, or uric acid. They are the waste chemicals filtered out of the blood by the kidneys. Electrolyte balance. A regulation of salts in the body. The kidneys have maintained electrolyte balance by adjusting the levels of sodium. Five, ultrafiltrate, a fluid formed by filtering blood plasma at the glomerulus. The filter. Verb filter là lọc, filter là blood, filtering blood. Filtrate, noun, dịch lọc, and ultrafiltrate, dịch siêu lọc. Six, nephron, the basic filtering unit in a kidney. Nephrons. Seven, reabsorption, reabsorb, verb and reabsorption. Retaking useful substances from filtrate into the blood. Verb and noun, absorb, reabsorb, and absorption. A, hemodynamic, related to the blood flow and pressure. Nine, acid-base homeostasis. And keep the pH levels balanced, or maintain the acid and base homeostasis, the balance. Kidney help to maintain acid-base balance. 11. Just the glomerular apparatus, the cells in the kidney that help regulate pressure and filtration. Twelve. Macula densa, the cells that sensing the sodium levels in the kidney. Fourteen. Vessels constriction, constrict, or to shorten, constrict, contract, or constrict, narrow. Constriction, the narrowing of the blood vessels. 15. Hilum, the kidneys area where vessels and ureter connect. Renal artery and renal vein. The arteries brings blood to the kidney and the vein carries it away. Renal là thuộc về thận. Nếu là thuộc về phổi mình có là pulmonary, là renal. Renal artery, renal vein, động mạch thận, tĩnh mạch thận. Các bệnh lý về thận. Renal disorders, renal problems, renal stones or kidney stones, sỏi thận, và renal unit, đơn vị độc thận. Đó. Gì liên quan tới thận thì mình sẽ có cái tính từ này, renal. Ureter, the tubes that carry urine from kidney to the bladder. And bladder or urinary bladder. Storage sac for urine. Điều quản nó bàng quang. Loop of Henle, nephron section for reabsorption. Renal pelvis, a funnel collecting urine from nephrons. urinalysis, testing urine to find diseases. Urine test or urine analysis, việc phân tích nước tiểu để tìm ra những bệnh lý có liên quan tới hệ miệng. Urinary tract infection or UTI. Nhiễm trùng đường niệu. Diabetes or diabetes mellitus. The disease causing high blood sugar. Okay, here are some main ideas from the passage. Một số những cái ý chính trong phần sách xung quanh ha. The main functions of the kidneys: excretion of the metabolic waste, regulation of the body balance, acid base balance, electrolyte balance, blood pressure, etc., and filtration process. The structure and location of the kidneys. Nephrons and filtration. The nephrons are the basic filtering unit of the kidneys. So they filter the urea, water, and some of the waste of glucose, amino acids, and the pigments. The useful substances are reabsorbed, and the rest becomes urine. So how is the urine formed? Urine formation and flow. Urine analysis. Urinalysis helps detect diseases involving bacterial disease or urinary tract infections, UTIs. That helps whether the glucose, the amount of glucose in the urine, indicates diabetes. Or if there's abnormal volumes of the urine, it's possible for kidney or systemic issues. Okay, let's watch another video clip about the kidneys, its anatomies and functions.
Today's topic is the kidney. The two bean-shaped organs located on the left and right sides of the abdomen. They are about 11 centimeters or 4.3 inches long in adults. They receive blood from the paired renal arteries. The blood is then filtered and wastes are removed alongside salt, sugar, and minerals are adjusted. The filtered blood is returned to the body and the waste is converted into urine. Each kidney is connected to a ureter, a tube that transports the urine into the bladder at the kidney's pelvis. Kidney diseases often affect both kidneys. If the kidney's ability to filter blood is hindered, waste and excess fluids build up in the body, resulting in abnormalities which do not give symptoms until late in the course of the disease. These diseases develop slowly over time and cause progressive loss of the kidney's function. Some common kidney diseases are high blood pressure, blood or protein in the urine, diabetes, kidney stone, urinary tract infection, glomerulonephritis, while some are inherited. Anatomy. 3 external layers make up the kidney, and they include the renal capsule, the innermost layer, renal fascicle, the outermost layer. The kidneys are covered by the renal capsule, an outermost covering made up of fibrous connective tissue. This tissue prevents the entrance of infections. 2 layers of fat are attached to the surface of the kidney to help cushion them. They are known as the adipose capsule. The adrenal gland is found sitting on top of each kidney. The right kidney is slightly lower than the left kidney, and the left kidney is more centralized than the right. This is due to the asymmetry within the abdominal cavity caused by the liver. Lower ribs protect the upper part of the kidney. Some important structures connect the kidney to the rest of the body. The renal veins that take blood to the vena cava and the renal artery that supplies blood to the kidney. The renal ileum is the point of entrance and exit of the veins, arteries, and nerves that supply the kidney. The internal layers of the kidney are made up of nephrons. Parts. There are three major parts of the kidney. They include the renal cortex, the renal medulla, and the renal pelvis. The kidneys are enclosed by a renal cortex, a layer of tissue covered by the renal capsule and the renal fascia. The cortex provides a space for the hormones from the renal artery and vein to diffuse the nephrons of the kidney. A hormone necessary for the synthesis of new red blood cells is also produced in the renal cortex. The renal medulla. The renal medulla is the inner region of the kidney. The structures inside the renal medulla are known as the renal pyramid. The renal medulla has about 27 to 30 pyramids, with each pyramid containing tens of thousands of nephrons. The renal pelvis. The hilum is contained in the renal pelvis. The hilum serves as an exit and entrance point for nerves and blood vessels. It also serves as a point of exit to the uterus. This layer connects the kidney with the other part of the kidney. Functions: blood pressure regulation, removal of toxins and drugs, excretion of metabolic waste, regulation of osmotic pressure in the body, balances the body fluids, controls the production of red blood cell, produces vitamin D, which promotes strong and healthy bones. Thank you for watching our video. Please do not forget to like and share the video. Also,
And another video clip is about the urine formation. How is urine formed in our body and excreted out the body by the kidneys.
After the body has taken the food components that it needs, waste products are left behind in the bowel and in the blood. The average adult has about 4.5 to 5.5 liters of blood inside their body. Blood is carried into the kidneys by the renal artery. The healthy kidney constantly cleaning about half a cup of blood every minute and getting rid of waste material, toxins, and excess water in the bloodstream. In the kidney, there are millions of tiny blood filters called nephrons. Nephrons are so small, you can see them only with a high-powered microscope. Each nephron is made up of a very small filter called a glomerulus, which is attached to a tubule. As blood passes through the nephron, fluid and waste products are filtered out into the ureters. The ureters are narrow tubes that carry urine from the kidneys to the bladder. Muscles in the ureter walls continually tighten and relax, forcing urine downward, away from the kidneys, not allowing them to back up or stand still. The urine then enters the bladder. The bladder is about the size and shape of a pear when empty. The bladder's walls relax and expand to store urine, allowing urination to be controlled. The normal capacity of the bladder is 400 to 600 milliliters. The bladder has a direct line of communication with the brain. It is full of receptors. An invisible fill line that tells your brain how full your bladder is. When your bladder is full, the nerves alert the person that it is time to urinate. Then the brain signals the bladder muscles to tighten, which squeezes urine out of the bladder. At the same time, the brain signals the sphincter muscles to relax, to let urine exit the bladder through the urethra. Urine is about 95% water and 5% waste products, including urea, creatine, ammonia, and uric acid. The urethral sphincters, either male or female, are two muscular structures that regulate the outflow of urine and help keep urine from leaking by closing tightly.
Keo xi măng dẻo đa năng, giải pháp sửa chữa đơn giản và cực kỳ hiệu quả mà gia đình nào cũng cần có. Keo xi
Okay, now let's correct the answers in the task. That's one. Rồi, thêm một task nữa. Summary passage. Fill in the blanks no more than 3 words. Đây là đoạn tóm tắt những cái ý chính trong session 1 nè. Các anh chị làm task A vào trong cái đường link lúc nãy luôn. Cô mới bổ sung cái task A vào. Ok, rồi chúng ta tham khảo đáp án nha. Rồi, phần cuối của buổi học hôm nay là chúng ta làm cái link để thực hành thêm về kỹ năng listening and reading nè. Các anh chị check link ở trong hộp thoại. Điền đầy đủ thông tin cá nhân. Phần listening, phần reading, phần nghe thì có sẵn file nghe trong đó. 45 phút làm bài. Và nộp bài trước 5:20 nha.